It's spring, and we all know what that means. An increase in UFO sightings around the country. The truth has been revealed. From the north, extraterrestrials are more likely to arrive. We've gathered details of famous UFO encounters in each state in the United States. Watch until the end to see which of the United States have to deal with the most extraterrestrial encounters. Number 9. District of Columbia. Number of UFO sightings, 87. A series of encounters known as the Big Flap terrified residents of Washington, D.C. during the month of July 1952. It all started on July 19th. The US Air Force was prompted by frequent radar wobbles and reports of lights flying at erratic speeds and courses to send fighters into the skies to confront enemy aircraft and possibly a Soviet-led attack. When jet fighters arrived, the radar signals vanished, only to resurface when they drifted away. To explain the enigma, the authorities declared it as a temperature inversion. Number 8. Hawaii. Number of UFO sightings, 495. Oumuamua, a cigar-shaped UFO, observed with the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope at the Haleakala Observatory in Hawaii in October of that year, was the subject of a draft study published in 2017 by two Harvard astronomers. The spinning ship, which was about a quarter-mile long and had no discernible tail, could have been a hint of alien life from beyond our solar system, according to the report. In Hawaii, the year 2020 also ended on an unusual note. Eyewitnesses on the Hawaiian island of Oahu saw a UFO in the night sky at about 8:30 p.m., triggering many 9/11 calls. Witnesses described the UFO as having a bright blue tint and an oblong form. Number 7. West Virginia. Number of UFO sightings, 621. The Greenbank Observatory in Greenbank, West Virginia is a prime location for scientists studying extraterrestrial life by recording energy waves from hundreds of light years away into machines using a massive radio telescope. Because many signals are so weak that they are easily wiped out by ambient noise, these scientists follow the National Radio Quiet Zone, a scientific regulation that prohibits the use of commonplace electronic equipment so they can perform their research without disturbance. Number 6. Maine. Number of UFO sightings, 826. The 1976 Allagash abduction is one of Maine's most well-known alien experiences. On August 20, 1976, 4 men on a camping vacation in the Allagash Wilderness Waterway said that they were kidnapped by aliens. All 4 males were put under hypnotherapy and interviewed about the kidnapping years after the incident. Each of the 4 stories was a perfect match. Number 5. New Hampshire. Number of UFO sightings, 863. Betty and Barney Hill's alien abduction along Route 3 in Lancaster, New Hampshire in 1961 is still one of the most well-known alien contact accounts in the world. The pair separately recounted being kidnapped, medically inspected, and released by bald-headed aliens with elliptical eyes in a cigar-shaped floating craft while under hypnosis. Number 4. Arizona. Number of UFO sightings, 3,188. A 1953 incident in which 3 Prescott residents saw 8 UFOs at Del Rio Springs Creek, and another on November 5, 1975, when 22-year-old Arizona logger Travis Walton was clobbered by a beam of light from a UFO in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest's New Snowflake, Arizona, which threw him 20 feet in front of 6 frightened crew members. The men assumed Walton was dead and fled for assistance. Meanwhile, Walton reported having awoken in an alien-infested room, where he was held captive for 5 days as officials searched for the missing guy. Number 3. Texas. Number of UFO sightings, 3,848. Multiple witnesses were present at several of Texas's most renowned UFO recordings, giving them more validity than other one-off documentation and posing more unresolved issues. In January 2008, scores of residents in the little hamlet of Stephenville, Texas, reported seeing white lights hovering in a single arc over Highway 67 before moving silently into vertically parallel lines. eyewitnesses challenged the Air Force's allegation that F-16s were flying in the area at that time, stating the lights were far too advanced for such a simple explanation. Number 2. Washington, D.C. Number of UFO sightings, 4,351. Washington is no stranger to close encounters of the third kind, having produced the first filmed evidence of a UFO. Harold A. Dahl claimed to authorities on June 21, 1947 that his son had been wounded and his dog had been killed by flying debris from 4 to 6 circular objects in the Maury Island incident. A witness was also allegedly intimidated by characters dressed in all black, which inspired the iconic Men in Black films decades later. Number 1. California. Number of UFO sightings, 10,333. It's no wonder that the state with the most UFO sightings also hosts the world's biggest UFO conference. Contact in the desert, speakers, panel discussions, plenty of opportunities for stargazing, and a continual stream of believers eager to share their experiences, many of which have been documented on camera or all part of the event. So are you a believer in UFOs, or do you think these can be explained by science? Let us know in the comments below.